Zombie apocalypse.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Eco Talks with Sneha Manerikar. In today's session, we'll discuss the further part of production economics. So let us start our session with our first question. The production of one is possible with the other, but the presence of one has positive effects on other is called as A. Complementary products, B. Supplementary products, C. Competitive products, D. Joint products. Answer is A. Complementary products. When the production of one is possible without the other, but the presence of one has positive effect on other, then it is called as complementary products. Example for complementary products is legume in rotation with the cash crop. Complementary usually occurs when one of the product produces an input used by other product. So it helps in to increase the production of other products. So such products are called as complementary products. Then the production of one product has no effect on another product is known as A. Complementary products, B. Supplementary products, C. Competitive products, D. Joint products. Answer is supplementary products. When there is no effect of one product on other product, then it is called as supplementary products. It exists when increase or decrease in one product does not affect the production level of other products. All supplementary relationships should be taken advantage by producing both the products to the point where products become competitive. After some level, they become competitive. So until they are supplementary, we can take the advantage, or the producer can take the advantage by producing both the products. The crop and weed is an example for A. Joint products, B. Complementary products, C. Competitive product, D. Antagonistic products. Answer is competitive product. Crop and weeds will be the example for competitive product because they compete each other for the inputs. Then competitive products, this relationship holds when increase or decrease in the production of one product affects the production of other commodity inversely. Like now, if weeds in the main crop increases, it will affect the production of main crop. That is, it will decrease the production yield of the main crop. So such relationship is called as competitive products. The MRPS between the products is negative. When two products are competitive, they must be substituted constant rate, increasing or decreasing. They may substitute at any rate. Then if two products are detrimental to each other, they are called A. Antagonistic product, B. Competitive product, C. Complementary products, D. Supplementary products. Answer is antagonistic products. If they are detrimental, then they are called as antagonistic product. Then MRTS for supplementary products: A 0, B 1, C negative, D positive. Answer is 0. Marginal rate of technical substitution for supplementary products will be 0. The MRTS for complementary products will be A 0, B 1, C negative, D positive. Answer is it will be positive. MRTS will be greater than 0 in case of complementary products. The MRTS for competitive products: A 0, B 1, C negative, D positive. Answer is negative. That is, it will be less than 0 for competitive products. And the line showing all possible combination of two products which will give same level of revenue is called A. ISO resource line, B. ISO revenue line, C. ISO quant line, D. ISO cost line. Answer is ISO revenue because here same level of revenue is there. So it is ISO revenue line. Then the slope of ISO revenue line indicates A. Input ratio, B. Inverse price ratio of products, C. Inverse price ratio of factors, D. Cost line. Answer is inverse price ratio of products. The ISO revenue is related to products. So the slope will indicate inverse price ratio of the products. And the slope of isocont indicates rate of factor substitution, B. Rate of product substitution, C. Both A and B, D. Price ratio. Answer is rate of factor substitution because in isocont we consider two factors. On x-axis we consider factor 1, on y-axis we consider factor 2. So there is a rate of factor substitution indicated by slope of isocont. The slope of isocost line indicates A. Inverse price ratio of products, B. Inverse price ratio of factors, C. Input ratio, D. Product ratio. Answer is inverse price ratio of factors. Isocost line, it is the budget line or amount of inputs that can be purchased with the given level of amount, or so it is called as isocost. That is, slope of isocost is inverse price ratio of factors or the inputs. The shift of isocont map indicates A. Technical efficiency, B. Allocative efficiency, C. Resource use efficiency, D. Technical change. Answer is technical change. When the isocont map shifts, then it is because of technical change, either by the improvement in technology or the negative effect of the technology. So technical change is the reason for shift of isocont. And what happens to the behavior of production when all factors are increased or decreased simultaneously in the same proportion? A. Returns to scale, B. Return to factor, C. Elasticity of production, D. None of the above. Answer is return to scale. When we check the behavior of production by increasing or decreasing all the inputs simultaneously in same proportion, this is phenomenon is called as return to scale. We have increasing return to scale, decreasing return to scale, and constant return to scale. Then the technical relationship between input and output is known as A. Production function, B. Profit function, C. Mathematical function, D. Consumption function. Answer is production function. Production function is the technical relationship between the input and output. Now, one of the assumption of production function analysis is A. Non-negative value of inputs and output, B. It presupposes technical efficiency, C. Product and inputs are perfectly divisible, D. All of the above. Answer is all of the above. The assumption of production function analysis is first is non-negative value of inputs and output, because negative value has no meaning in case of inputs and output. Then it presupposes technical efficiency. Whatever production function we assume, it is presuppose the technical efficiency. That is, there is a technical efficiency. Then product and inputs are perfectly divisible. These are the some assumptions of production function analysis. In total, there are 8 assumptions. And wage of labor is A. Decision variable, B. Uncertain variable, C. Predetermined variable, D. Qualitative variable. Answer is predetermined. Wages of the labor are predetermined variable. The profit maximization condition on output side is A. MR is equal to MC, B. MC cuts MR from below, C. MC curve slopes downward, D. Both A and B. Answer is both A and B. Now here, in case of output, when we consider output, then profit maximization criteria will be marginal returns is equal to marginal cost, and marginal cost should cut marginal revenue come from below. This is the profit maximization condition when we study from output side. Then profit maximization condition on input side is A. MVP is equal to MFC, B. MVP cut MFC from above, C. MVP is more steeper than MFC, D. All of the above. Answer is all of the above. When we study profit maximization condition from input side, our first condition will be marginal value product will be equal to marginal factor cost. Second, marginal value product cuts the marginal factor cost from above, and marginal value product curve will be steeper than the marginal factor cost. So these are the 3 conditions for profit maximization when we consider the input side. Then y is equal to a into x1 raised to 0.5, x2 raised to 0.6 indicates A. Increasing return to scale, B. Decreasing return to scale, C. Constant return to scale, D. None of the above. Answer is increasing returns to scale. How to calculate increasing returns to scale in case of Cobb-Douglas function? Just add the parameters, that is B1. So here 0.5 plus 0.6, that will be 1.1. So when it is greater than 1, it is increasing returns to scale. When it is less than 1, it is decreasing return to scale. And when it is equal to 1, it is constant return to scale. In the given example, it is greater than 1. So it indicates increasing return to scale. And which is the first degree polynomial equation? A, quadratic production function, B, linear production function, C, CD production function, D, exponential production function. Answer is linear production function is the first degree polynomial equation, whereas quadratic production function is second degree polynomial equation. CD, that is Cobb-Douglas production function, is power function, and exponential production function is nothing but the Mr-List production function. That's all for today's session. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section or message me on my Telegram group, EcoTalks. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.